Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires and goes! She hits!
5 months. That's how long the basketball world held its breath. 5 months since Caitlin Clark's sophomore season ended in a cascade of injuries, leaving fans, analysts, and rivals asking the same question. Is she still the player who shattered records as a rookie? Could the woman who rewrote WNBA history come back from a layoff that long and come back better? The answer arrived in less than 48 hours at Team USA camp.
Caitlin Clark might miss at least 2 weeks because of a left quad strain injury of the year, although the first one in preseason was unrelated.
Clark didn't just return, she dominated, redefining every expectation about what a comeback could look like. From impossible threes to pinpoint passes and chemistry that stunned the coaching staff, she made one thing clear. The future of USA basketball, and possibly the entire game, belongs to her. This is the story of a comeback that silenced doubt, rewrote narratives, and set the stage for 2026 like nothing else could. The season that almost broke her to understand what happened at Team USA camp.
Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
She was the Rookie of the Year and first-team All-WNBA.
You have to understand what Caitlin Clark survived to get there. Her rookie season was the stuff of legend. 62 records broken in a single year. Triple-doubles that had never been achieved before. Shots from half court that turned arenas into absolute chaos. She averaged 16.5 points and nearly 9 assists per game while transforming the Indiana Fever into must-see television. The WNBA had never seen anything like her, and the league's entire economic model shifted around her presence. When she played, ratings spiked. When she was on the court, stadiums sold out. She wasn't just a basketball player, she was a phenomenon.
Caitlin Clark, 1 rebound more a game than their opponents.
3 games. She had made 7 in a row over her last 2.
Then her sophomore season began, and everything fell apart. It started with a quad injury in the preseason that should have been a warning sign. She tried to play through it because that's what competitors do. But the body doesn't forget damage, and one injury led to another. The quad problem affected how she moved, which put stress on other parts of her body. New injuries popped up before old ones fully healed. Clark described the frustration in terms that anyone who's dealt with compounding injuries will understand. It was one thing, and then it seemed like it was getting better, but then it continued to compound and get worse, and other things started popping up.
She and Caitlin Clark, the most connection of anybody on the team in terms of assists to points. Clark just continues to lead the WNBA.
The woman who had rewritten the record books could barely stay on the court. 13 games, that's all she managed the entire season. 13 games after breaking 62 records as a rookie. The contrast was devastating. Every time she seemed close to returning, something else would flare up. A groin injury finally ended her season completely, and Clark was forced to watch from the sideline as her team struggled without her. The basketball world started asking uncomfortable questions. Was this the beginning of an injury-plagued career? Had she peaked already?
She's already missed 5 games with a quad injury this season, and now will add tonight to the list.
Would the player who changed women's basketball ever be the same again? Clark later admitted how isolating the experience was. Being hurt is an incredibly isolating thing, she said, and you don't really understand it until you go through it. For someone whose entire identity was built around performing at the highest level, being forced to sit and watch was psychological torture. She couldn't do the thing that made her feel most alive. She couldn't contribute to her team. She couldn't answer the doubters with performance. All she could do was rehab, wait, and hope that when she finally returned, the magic would still be there.
A developing story we're following in the W. Caitlin Clark will miss tonight's Fever game against the Sparks with a groin issue.
Walking into the Fire Team USA camp wasn't just a return to basketball. It was the highest pressure environment Clark could have chosen for her comeback. Every coach in the building was evaluating players for the 2026 World Cup roster and the 2028 Olympic team. Every drill was being analyzed. Every possession was being judged. The players invited to camp understood that their spots weren't guaranteed. This was an audition where careers could be made or derailed based on a few days of performance. And into that pressure cooker walked a player who hadn't competed in 5 months and was coming off a season where her body had betrayed her repeatedly. Clark admitted she felt nervous walking into camp. How could she not? The last time most people had seen her play competitively, she was limping off the court with another injury.
Caitlin Clark, National Player of the Year, Wooden Award winner, so many accolades, it could become old hat.
The narrative around her had shifted from unstoppable force to question mark. But something changed the moment she touched a basketball during warm-ups. "That's when I felt pretty comfortable," she revealed later. The ball in her hands, the familiar weight of it, the muscle memory kicking in. Whatever anxiety she'd carried into the building started melting away the second she began her pregame routine. The stakes couldn't have been higher for what happened next. Sue Bird was watching. Coach Lawson was watching. Every analyst and reporter covering the camp was watching. They all wanted to answer the same question. Is Caitlin Clark still Caitlin Clark? The first practice would tell them everything they needed to know. Either she would show rust, hesitation, diminished explosiveness, all the things that typically follow a long layoff and serious injuries, or she would prove that the 5 months away had done exactly what they were supposed to do. Heal her completely and restore her to full strength.
Caitlin Clark, smashing records and captivating fans across the nation. And now she's ready to take her game to the next level.
The moment everything changed, Clark declared herself 100% healthy before the first practice began. But words are cheap in professional sports. Everyone says they're healthy. Everyone claims they're ready. The only thing that matters is what happens when the whistle blows and the competition starts. Clark backed up her declaration with a performance that made the coaching staff's jaws drop. Her shots fell with the same accuracy that had broken all those records. Her passes found their targets with precision that seemed almost supernatural. Her court vision looked sharper than ever, as if the time away had somehow improved her ability to read defenses and find openings. But the thing that stood out most was her speed, the burst, the ability to change pace and blow by defenders. That was the skill that injuries had stolen from her during her sophomore season.
Caitlin Clark news and the Fever's playoff chances extensively in the coming hours and days.
She never quite got all the way there in year 2 because of the myriad of injuries, analysts noted. The quad problem that started everything had affected her first step, her acceleration, her ability to create separation. Defenders who couldn't stay in front of rookie Caitlin Clark had managed to contain sophomore Caitlin Clark because she simply couldn't explode past them the way she used to. At Team USA camp, the speed was back, completely. Undeniably. There was a play on day 2 that made everyone watching realize they were seeing something special. Clark received a dribble handoff from Aaliyah Boston near the top of the key. The way she turned the corner was electric. Her acceleration was instant. She got downhill so fast that the defense had no time to react. The play ended with a perfect pass to Jackie Young for an easy basket. But the pass wasn't the story. The story was how Clark had moved to create that opportunity. She looked like the player who had terrorized defenses during her rookie season, maybe even faster. Her step-back 3 on day 1 had already announced her return.
Caitlin Clark, as you know, has missed the last 19 games with a groin injury.
The footwork was crisp. The release was pure. The ball splashed through the net like she'd never missed a day. But it was the combination of shooting and speed that made the coaching staff realize they weren't just watching a player who had recovered from injury. They were watching someone who might have actually improved during her time away. The rest had allowed her body to fully heal. The rehab had strengthened areas that were previously weak, and the hunger that comes from being forced to watch helplessly had given her a fire that burned hotter than ever. The chemistry that can't be taught. Building chemistry between players usually takes weeks or months in camp settings. Guards and big players need time to learn each other's tendencies. They need to understand timing, preferred spots on the court, how hard to throw certain passes, when to cut and when to space. Most point guards struggle to develop these connections quickly. They throw passes too hard or too soft. They deliver the ball to the wrong spot. They don't anticipate where their teammates want to receive it. The learning curve is steep, and mistakes are expected during the early days of any training camp.
Caitlin Clark grow up. Kristen Meyer, the head basketball coach at Dowling Catholic in Des Moines, Iowa. Coach Meyer, thanks so much for being here.
Clark and Aaliyah Boston skipped the learning curve entirely. They'd spent an entire season together with the Indiana Fever, and that experience translated immediately to the Team USA setting. Clark grabbed a defensive rebound and pushed tempo, already scanning for Boston sprinting down the floor. Boston established position in the post, and Clark threaded a pass through two defenders that arrived at exactly the right angle for an easy finish. The timing was perfect. The execution was flawless. The coaching staff watched with growing excitement as two players demonstrated chemistry that most teammates never develop.
Caitlin Clark has not seen that kind of defense all year long in terms of the power of Aaliyah Boston, but able to get by and finish.
There was one moment during practice that made Sue Bird and the coaches realize they were watching something special. Clark found Boston cutting to the basket with a pass that seemed to defy physics. The ball arrived exactly where Boston needed it at exactly the moment she needed it. Boston smiled as she finished the play. Clark grinned right back. They both knew what they'd just shown everyone. This wasn't two players learning to work together. This was two players who already operated as one unit, reading each other's minds and executing at a level that takes most duos years to achieve. The connection extended beyond just Boston.
Caitlin and Aaliyah, in what ways do you feel like this team has grown since the early weeks of the season? What ways have you improved?
Clark found Jackie Young cutting for a layup with a pass that had the coaching staff nodding in approval. The ball arrived perfectly in stride, allowing Young to finish without breaking momentum. Clark and Young showed the same seamless backcourt connection that could anchor Team USA's starting lineup for years to come. Players around them started making harder cuts and setting better screens because they trusted Clark to reward good movement with accurate passes. Her presence elevated everyone's performance. She didn't just fit with her teammates, she made them better. Separating from the pack. The narrative heading into camp was supposed to be about competition. Multiple players fighting for limited roster spots. Fierce battles that would force the coaching staff to make difficult decisions. Everyone expected close races and dramatic cuts. The reality turned out to be very different. Within 48 hours, one player had separated herself so completely from everyone else that the competition for starting point guard was essentially over. Clark's dominant showing made the other guards look like they were playing for the backup role. Other players at camp focused on individual performances, trying to showcase their own abilities to make the roster. Clark took the opposite approach. She made everyone around her look better. When teammates made good cuts, Clark rewarded them with perfect passes.
As dynamic a player as Caitlin Clark is, she's going to make it very challenging on the South Carolina Gamecocks. They swarm really well.
When they set solid screens, Clark found ways to get them involved in the offense. Her team-first mentality stood out in a setting where most players were desperately trying to prove themselves. She communicated constantly, calling out screens and directing traffic. Players started following her lead on tempo changes and defensive rotations. The younger players gravitated toward her energy and basketball IQ. Sue Bird watched Clark's performance with obvious satisfaction. She looked great, Bird said about Clark's return to form. When the managing director of USA Basketball, the greatest point guard in the history of the women's game, says a player looks great, coaches listen.
USA Basketball related camp, or obviously in my past it's been all junior national teams.
Bird noted that Clark's rhythm was back after months away from competitive basketball. Her praise carried massive weight and signaled to everyone watching that Clark had secured her position as the cornerstone of this team's future. The coaching staff's reactions throughout practice revealed their clear preference. They smiled when Clark made plays. They nodded when she made smart decisions. Their body language showed they'd found their starting point guard for the foreseeable future. Coach Lawson's comments after practice confirmed what everyone had already figured out. Clark hadn't missed a beat. After 5 months away and a season full of injuries, she looked like the record-breaking rookie all over again. Maybe even better than before.
Like, you will get results in the game if you do that. And she's a joy to coach. And it's my job to get some more of our players around her playing at a higher level.
The new era begins. This camp marked something bigger than just roster decisions for a single tournament. This was USA Basketball officially passing the torch to a new generation, and Clark stood at the center of that transition. The 2026 World Cup in Germany and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles will define the next chapter of American dominance in women's basketball. Sue Bird and Coach Lawson aren't just building a team for one event. They're building a dynasty around one player who just announced her return to elite form in the most emphatic way possible. Clark reflected on her journey during camp. With the perspective that only comes from surviving adversity, She remembered playing on the U16 team and dreaming about representing the senior national team. "It's the beginning of a new Olympic cycle," she said about her return to USA basketball. That dream was becoming reality, but she understood the pressure that came with it. The expectations would be enormous. Every game would be scrutinized. Every performance would be measured against the standards she'd set during her historic rookie season. And now, after proving she was fully healthy, those expectations would only grow higher. The transformation from injured second-year pro to cornerstone of Team USA's future looked complete. Clark confirmed she was back to 100% health after battling multiple injuries, including the right groin problem that ended her season. Her satisfaction with her physical condition was obvious to anyone watching. She moved well on the court. She showed no signs of rust. She looked like someone who had used the 5 months away to come back stronger, faster, and more determined than ever to prove that her rookie season was just the beginning. "My main goal for today was just to smile and have fun," Clark said after practice. And that smile never left her face during the sessions. She had her game back. Her health is back. Her confidence is back. The joy of simply being able to compete again radiated from every move she made. For someone who had experienced the isolation and frustration of being sidelined, the ability to do what she loved at the highest level felt like a gift, and she was determined to make the most of every opportunity from this point forward. What comes next? The official roster announcement will formalize what everyone at camp already knows. Clark has secured her starring role in Team USA's championship plans for the next several years. But the implications of what happened at this camp extend far beyond a single roster decision. This was the moment when the trajectory of American women's basketball locked into place around one player. Every strategic decision moving forward, every roster construction, every offensive system will be built with Clark as the foundation. She didn't just make the team, she became the player that the entire program will revolve around for potentially the next decade. The starting lineup is already taking shape in the minds of coaches and analysts who watch camp unfold. Clark at point guard, running the show the way she did during her record-breaking rookie season.
Clark uses the screen, puts up the contested two, and buries it. Fever up 1, 22 points and counting. Mid-fourth, Clark in motion.
Pushing tempo and creating opportunities that other guards simply can't manufacture. Jackie Young alongside her in the backcourt, providing the two-way versatility and scoring punch that complements Clark's playmaking perfectly. The two of them showed chemistry during camp that suggests they could anchor this backcourt for multiple Olympic cycles. Young knows how to do almost everything on the court, and she will thrive playing alongside someone who can find her in perfect scoring positions, possession after possession. Kalia Copper brings elite scoring ability and defensive intensity from the wing position. Her versatility allows coaches to switch defensive assignments and create mismatches on offense. Diarika Hamby at the 4 provides size, rebounding, and the ability to stretch the floor with her shooting. She can guard multiple positions and gives the lineup flexibility that modern basketball demands. And Aaliyah Boston anchors everything in the post, where her chemistry with Clark creates opportunities that opposing defenses simply cannot stop. The connection those two showed during camp wasn't just impressive. It was the kind of partnership that wins championships.
Looked so alike on the court that fans were calling them twins, while Caitlin kept getting paired with Jackie, and the chemistry was obvious. Aaliyah was switching out to the perimeter, moving her feet and contesting shots like a guard, showing her versatility. Team USA is in Durham.
The challenge facing USA basketball seems massive on paper. How do you blend young talent with a program that has won 7 consecutive Olympic gold medals? How do you maintain the standard of excellence while transitioning to a new generation of players? Most national teams struggle with this balance for years. Veterans clash with younger players over roles and playing time. Chemistry takes multiple tournament cycles to develop. Leadership doesn't emerge overnight, and the pressure of representing your country can overwhelm even the most talented players. But Clark provides the perfect bridge between youth and championship expectations. She brings elite talent that nobody questions anymore. Her shooting range terrorizes defenses. Her court vision creates easy baskets for teammates. Her ability to push tempo generates fast break opportunities before opponents can set up. But beyond the physical skills, she brings leadership qualities that Sue Bird praised throughout her injury recovery. Even while sidelined, Clark stayed engaged with her Fever teammates. She remained a positive presence in the locker room. She studied film and prepared mentally for her return. Her basketball IQ and competitive fire make her a natural leader, despite being only 23 years old. The younger players at camp gravitated toward her energy because they recognized someone who could show them what championship-level preparation looks like. Her return also positions the Indiana Fever for unprecedented success. The synergy between her WNBA team and her national team role creates advantages that few players enjoy. Boston will be her teammate in both settings. The chemistry they build with the Fever translates directly to Team USA competition. Every game they play together in the WNBA makes them more dangerous when they represent their country. Clark and Boston could become the most dominant guard-center combination in international basketball, and they're just getting started together. The 2026 World Cup in Germany will be their first major test. The 2020 Olympics in Los Angeles will be their coronation.
Human drama of athletic competition will be on full display at the 2028 Summer Olympic Games in LA. And
Team USA has found their leader for the next decade, and she just proved she's more dangerous than ever before. 5 months of doubt, silence, and questions have become a turning point. Caitlin Clark didn't just return, she redefined what a comeback looks like, proving that record-breaking talent isn't fleeting and that determination can rewrite the future of a sport. But this is only the beginning. Germany 2026 and Los Angeles 2028 are on the horizon, and the questions have shifted. Can one player change the trajectory of an entire team, a generation, even the global perception of women's basketball? And more importantly, who will rise to meet her on the court? And who will be left chasing history that's already being rewritten? The era of Caitlin Clark has begun, and the world is watching.